Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Best Bets and Parlays video. I think I've got 9 total bets and then 3 smaller parlays to get to. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. We've reached the college football bowl season, so I am venturing out a little bit and just going over some bets that I like for the NFL. Number 1, Giants +7 versus the Eagles. So originally, I was in on the Eagles. I liked the Eagles, but guys, I've seen a lot of movement, a lot of professional bettors going in on the Giants at home plus the 7. The Giants are a quality football team, and the Eagles, they had a massive win last week against Tennessee, but it seems to be like an every other week thing for Philadelphia on the road to cover a 7-point spread. It is a tough ask. The Giants just tied with the Commanders, and they do have a competent offense, so I think they can keep it within 7 at home. Of course, Jalen Hurts playing really well right now. We'll see if he can keep that up. Either way, the value is on the Giants in that game. Jets at the Bills, the under 43.5. So we don't want to call it too early, but we might be dealing with some legitimate weather, maybe a wintry mix type thing in Buffalo, mid-30s, sleet/rain/snow, and I think there's some stat about Bills games going under. It's like 8 out of the last 10 Bills games have gone under, and the Jets, even with Mike White moving the ball better, they're not an offense that is really going to scare you. Certainly, I like the Bills to win this game. They had a great defensive performance last week on Thursday Night Football, but with the weather and with the way the Bills games trend, they tend to always go under, at least recently. We will take the under going up against Mike White and the Jets offense. The Jaguars plus the 4 at the Titans. So this line was 3.5. It moves to 4, and I'm in on the value on the Jaguars. Obviously, they were no-shows last week. So were the Titans. Both of these teams really struggled. In terms of the overall talent pool, I don't think they're very far off. The Titans just fired their GM. Maybe there's some problems there, helps the Jaguars a little bit. I think the Jaguars keep this game close. I could see a world where the Titans win 23-20, something like that. So I think the Jaguars plus the 4 is the value. I also could see a world where Jacksonville wins this game outright, even after their tough loss last week. Both of these teams are reeling right now. The Chiefs at the Broncos, the under 44 in that one. So the Broncos, it's just crazy. 10 of their last 11 games, I believe, is the statistic. They have all gone under. They simply can't score. And it's going to be colder and mile high. The Chiefs are definitely going to win this game, in my opinion. They're going to bounce back after that tough road loss to Kansas City. But it's going to be a little bit tough for the offenses, especially with just the style that Denver plays. They're extremely offensively challenged, with Russell Wilson having a terrible year, but they do play pretty good defense, and they are at home, and it is cold weather. So I really do like the under in that one. Next, we have the Bucks at the 49ers, the over 37.5. This is just value. That's a really, really low number. Tom Brady, for as bad as their offense has been, late in that Monday night game, they get something going. They score back-to-back touchdowns. You're really hoping for something. You get something like 24-17. The over in this game would hit. 21-17 even, the over hits. It could be tough for the 49ers to generate points with, Jimmy G out. But they've just got so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. When you've got Deebo Samuel, you've got Brandon Ayuk, you've got Kittle, along with Christian McCaffrey, you're at least hoping you get into the low 20s and an over 37.5. It just feels like the over hits about 70% of the time, in a game like this. Just my opinion. The Bengals minus the 5.5 versus the Browns. So, it feels like this is the week the Bengals finally beat the Browns. They're on a pretty crazy losing streak. The Browns crushed them. If you guys remember earlier this year on Halloween night, kind of a weird score, 32-13. But now the Bengals, I mean, the offense, the emergence of T. Higgins as a legit number one to go along with Jamar Chase, another number one. Whether or not Joe Mixon can get out of concussion protocol, it really shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't matter. P. Ryan's been fine filling in for him, so I like the Bengals big in this one. The Browns are a tough team to predict because we really don't know when Deshaun Watson is going to shake off all of the rust. They certainly have a talented team, no doubt. I don't think it's going to be this week, personally. The Eagles at the Giants. Also, I'll take the under 45. So Daniel Jones home games, the unders are really, really good. There's a big trend with that. And if you are a believer that the Giants can keep this game close, it is going to be a lower scoring game. Also, if you do believe in kind of the balancing act of the NFL, someone like Jalen Hurts has an unbelievable week last week. We expect him come back down to earth a little bit on the road against a solid defense with the New York Giants. So I do like the under there. The Ravens plus the 2.5 at the Steelers. So the Ravens dealing with the Lamar Jackson injury. It's tough. This was originally a 3-point spread. It got bet down. Doesn't surprise me. It's just simply too much for a rookie quarterback. I like Kenny Pickett. We've all been riding the Steelers. They've been covering. You know, they've had, I think, a 2-game winning streak here against the Colts on Monday Night Football and then versus Atlanta on the road. So overall, guys, I do like the Steelers, but I think they're a little bit overvalued with a rookie quarterback against a really solid Ravens team. Yes, they don't have great skill position talent, but pretty much every other position, I could definitely see the Ravens just shutting down the Steelers offense in a game like this. Kenny Pickett, he still is a rookie. I know he's been playing better, and I've, talked about the Steelers. I loved the Steelers, but now I think they're overvalued this week. The Panthers at the Seahawks, the over 44. So DJ Moore coming alive a little bit in that offense ever since they benched Baker Mayfield. The Seahawks, Geno Smith had like 370 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's not slowing down. Now they're at home. This could be a fun, higher scoring game, in my opinion. Really don't understand that over-under. That I feel like it should be around 47 or 48. 44 is a little bit surprising. I would assume it is due to the Panthers' lackluster offense, but they've been better since Baker was out. And then coming to my top 3 parlays of the week, we're going to go Bengals money line versus the Browns. It just feels like it's overdue. The Bengals at home, they've got a ton of momentum coming off that win against Kansas City. I think they get the job done. They are 5.5-point favorites. The Jets at the Bills, we're going to go the under 49.5. So that is minus 250. I'm buying about 6 points just because it is a parlay. It's a little bit harder to hit all of these. You want to have little bit of an advantage. So we'll take the under 49.5, dealing with weather in this game. We're going to play the weather and use it to our advantage. And then the Chiefs money line at the Broncos. This is a get-right game for Kansas City coming off that tough loss to Cincinnati. They still played well. They just lost to a good team. And you had the Travis Kelce fumble, some unfortunate things. They're going to get back on track. They're going to beat Denver, who just is completely dead in the water with a total lame duck first-year coach, Nathaniel Hackett. And that's just a 3-team parlay plus 142, something a little to wet the whistle right there. Moving to my second parlay, the Ravens plus the 6.5 at Pittsburgh. So we are buying, 4 points right there. I believe this is going to be a very close game. That's minus 215 if you buy the points. I would be shocked if Pittsburgh really crushed the Ravens with how good the Ravens roster is and how good they're built on defense against a rookie quarterback. The Eagles at the Giants, we're just going to go in on the under 45. Giants home games always seem to go under. It's a 1 o'clock game. We are expecting Jalen Hurts to kind of come back down to earth at least a little bit. And then the Chargers plus the 3.5 versus the Dolphins. So I kind of talked myself into this one once the line went to 3.5. I do think the Dolphins are probably going to win this game. I still think the Dolphins are a good team. 3.5, though, for Justin Herbert at home in a Sunday night spot. It feels like, you're really tempting fate and you're really getting decent value plus the 3.5. It leaves you a slight wiggle room for, the Dolphins win by a walk-off field goal by 2 points, something like that. You can still cover with the 3.5-point buffer. And then that is just plus 434 on that parlay there. And then my final third parlay, the Bills money line versus the Jets. Certainly, we would expect the Bills, who have gotten back on track. They got that Thanksgiving Day win over the Lions. they end up beating New England and covering. And now they've got, they've played really good defense. They get the Jets at home. I think they win that game easily. They're like 9.5-point favorites. The Lions money line versus the Vikings. Very intriguing game here where the Lions, I believe they're 5-7, are 2-point favorites over the 10-2 Vikings. Normally when that happens, surprisingly enough, when it comes to history, the team that's 5-7, they normally win and they normally cover. It's just the way Vegas works. It's a cork. The Vikings have won a lot of close games. I've been in on the Vikings. I think the Vikings have been undervalued, but not this week. The Lions, they're a young team. They play really well on offense at home. And then the Seahawks on the money line at home versus Carolina. The Seahawks, again, Geno Smith is still playing well. They're at home. They're pretty good value. They're only -4 overall. The Panthers, really not a lot of motivation to win this game. They want to get, possibly a top 3 or 4 pick and pick their franchise quarterback. So I just feel like the Seahawks, who have had a surprising season and Geno Smith playing for a bigger contract, they're going to win that game at home. And that is my third and final parlay, plus 224 on that one. So guys, that's going to do it for this edition of my NFL Best Bets and Top Parlays. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.